Hey everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we'll see a man who's been in charge for more than a decade, Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions, as they match up with the great Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. With that, let's get up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Standing by for the call from venerable LAMBEAU Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
There's a look at one of the most iconic sports venues in the lower 48, built back in 1957 under the title of City Stadium. We are at LAMBEAU Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Detroit Lions. From up top, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you. And Charles, an NFC North matchup here, the so-called black and blue division.
Atta baby, show that age.
It's going to be a battle in 2019 as well. Who do you like out of this division?
Well, Chicago is a defending champion, and they play defense as well as anyone in the league, so you have to like their chances to repeat. Minnesota thought they were going to run the division, had a rough year. That's not normal Vikings football. They'll get back into the fray. Green Bay had such an underwhelming season last year. They changed coaches, but they still have number 12 throwing the football. And Detroit, they're on a crusade to eliminate bad football and get back to being the Lions that roar.
Green Bay's offense trots out there, and under center, of course, will be Aaron Rodgers, who put the ball in the air 53 times last week in their loss at home to Philadelphia. Threw for 422 yards, and what's interesting about that game, CD, is Green Bay got up 10-0 against Philly before losing. They were 58-0-1 when leading by 10 or more at home until that defeat.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? Because normally, with Green Bay's defense playing the way they have in the early going, you would think that's almost a lock to close out teams. But in this case, they struggle with Philadelphia. Aaron Rodgers had an Aaron Rodgers game, and he did say their offense had to come to life. They had to help out the defense. In this case, the offense came to life. The defense struggled. Devontae Adams, they wasted a big game by him. 10 catches, 180 yards. And then that last pass at the goal line by Aaron Rodgers, tried to fit it in like he normally does, gets batted in the air, interception, and the Eagles go home winners.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And they'll try the jet sweep here. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
It's tough to be an offensive lineman in Green Bay because their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, knows how to keep plays alive and often extends them for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. But David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, he does it as well as anyone could ever expect. Excellent footwork, knows that the plays are going to stay alive for a long time, often will get 2 or 3 blocks on the same play.
They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 11 yards there, 1st down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Gonna give this time to the tailback. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Got a man, that's Allison. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
The last two plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He'll get this off to Jamal Williams. And he gets this to the 48, but no further. Well short of the line to gain. Call it a gain of 3. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. And that will hit and continue on out of bounds.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Detroit's offense, they worked their way back out here, and it gives me a chance to just ask you what you saw from them in last week's game. And we touched on it a bit earlier, but you were in the booth for their loss to Kansas City. But was that an encouraging loss for Detroit?
I think it from the outside in, you would say yes, because they've been trying to change, what's that word everyone uses? Their culture. And I think they've done that with the additions of guys like Trey Flowers, the defensive end, Justin Coleman, the defensive back, merging and meshing now with Matthew Stafford, who's already there, and that young middle linebacker, Jared Davis, who plays with such heart and such tenacity. I think this is a team that you're going to have to deal with down the road. They get an open week, then 2 division games that'll tell the rest of the league exactly who the Lions are. At Green Bay, home against Minnesota. I expect them to be in the thick of the NFC North race.
So still backed up, but the situation not as dire now. 1st and 10 at the 14. Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Darnell Savage, the rookie from Maryland. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
As Green Bay takes the field here offensively, Charles, let's revisit what's going on in this season right now for the Packers. 3-1, as we said, after the loss to Philadelphia, and they go to Dallas this week, so another tough game.
It is a tough game on the road. Dallas having lost to New Orleans for their first loss, so this is going to be an interesting deal for both of them to see how they both recover. Green Bay gets a little extra time because they played the previous Thursday, so that may help them a little bit, give them a tad of an advantage when they go on the road. Then after that, they've got to get back to defending their home field. Detroit visits and Oakland visits. Not easy games, either one of them, but let's face it, if you can go 3-1 every quarter of the season, that's 12-4. Green Bay sign up for that right now.
That good for 19 at a 1st down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle, and if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And now the Lions defensive starters.
As the Detroit Lions continue to rebuild their defense, they were so excited about the opportunity to acquire defensive end Trey Flowers from New England, who always put on big performances in the playoffs and in Super Bowls. And now the Lions looking forward to seeing that game in and game out. 7.5 sacks is his career high. They'd love to see that number get to double digits.
319. Run you over. I'm going to run you over.
On second down, it's Jones. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down.
Tight, watch left. Tight, watch.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he finds Jimmy Graham. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll run it with Williams. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so, and one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you can darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4 down territory.
And Jones is not going to have the 1st down as they stop him short. No gain on the play, and what to do now on 4th and goal.
That's the end of the first quarter.
We're scoreless after 1. Back for the 2nd quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation.
Mason Crosby on for the field goal. An 18-yard attempt.
And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 22. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up the screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late, and that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Throwing again. Stafford. Pass incomplete. He couldn't hook up with Amendola there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he will be marked down short of the 1st as they get to him at the 29. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. "51 yards on the punt there. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at their own 18. Rodgers going to throw. And that's complete to Adams. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Let's go. Let's go.
A gain on the play.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
You might be getting tired of seeing me.
On 2nd down now, it's Jones. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into first downs and hopefully points.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Stafford, open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Jamal Williams making his way back onto the field. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
What an advantage having a elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He sets to fire deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, and we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt, and the Lions will take over. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 27. They begin the drive with Johnson, and he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain, 3-0 our score. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
12 yards there and a 1st down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. The Lions need to move. They're hustling to the line now. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Stafford. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Dean Lowry. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be taken at the 13. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. It may just be the 2nd quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point.
Watch the screen. Pass.
Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. Open here is Allison. That's complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. To throw is Rodgers. Operating from the gun. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Rodgers. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in.
Holding. Offense.
So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
Strip that ball.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. A gain of 28 yards there and give them the 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Rodgers now to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away. The kick by Crosby is good, and they're able to double their lead just before half. It's 6-0. So a capper there to a pretty good 1st half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome, everyone, to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Now a play fake here on first down. He'll get this one to Galladay. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Stafford going underneath. He's got Hawkinson. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. First down Lions on a pickup of 13.
Not too many teams will use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. Nice little catch and run to get the good yardage. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
180. Double time. 3 down.
On 2nd and 9, Stafford. James has got it. Complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
250. They're going to need some therapy after this.
Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. He gets this one to Johnson. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Stafford going to come up 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Here we go.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, Stafford. And it's caught. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's 1st and goal. Here's Stafford. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Za'Darius Smith came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on 1st and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, 1st and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Throwing is Stafford. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. From 10 yards out, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point.
CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone.
Prater for the extra point, and they take the lead here at 7-6. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Throwing is Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down.
First down 10 at the 45-yard line.
Hey, we have you on the edge.
Rodgers now on first down. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 34-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Come on now, come on now.
Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll go again to Jones. And an alley to run. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
You got 3 down.
On first down, Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. But it'll be 2nd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. They'll run it with Jones. They'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
A field goal would get them the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. Off the draw, here's Williams. And he will not be able to get the first as he can get this only down to the 5. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Jump back in front here. It's 9-7. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field.
And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But last year, despite playing all 16 games, he had 0. A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. From the gun, here's Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
In your face.
Operating from the gun, Stafford. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line.
Offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
From the gun, Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. No gain there on the completion. It'll be second down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
Throwing on second and long. Stafford, he completes it to Jones. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
It's caught. Jones. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 20-yard line. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Stafford going to come up first and 10, and he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. They'll run it with Johnson, and he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Throwing on second and 8. Stafford, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
Waiting. 50 the mic. 50 the mic. It's been a long day for you.
Stafford on first down. Incomplete. Kerryon Johnson, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down.
So it looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Throwing again. Stafford. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is third and long. Operating from the gun. Stafford. And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. 10 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Lions are going to jump back in front.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
Now Prater to add the PAT. Oh, this is blocked. Oh, the Packers have it. But he doesn't get far. They're able to stop him. And after all that, the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
Oftentimes when you give up a touchdown, it's really a deflation for your entire unit. And the special teams group, when they run out there, they still feel it. And maybe they don't go after it so much. Instead, they gave great effort there. Blocked the extra point and really gave them a lift after giving up the score.
Yeah, gave up the touchdown, lost the lead, but a nice job to get in there and block it. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now Rodgers in the pack. Down 13-9. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Plenty of time here. They've got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning as they've got it 1st and 10. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He'll get this off to Jamal Williams. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He's back to throw. This complete to Jones. And he is down at the 48. A pickup of 4 that started at 148-yard line and ended at the other. That'll be a pickup of 4 as they work with this 4-point fourth quarter lead. Rodgers in control as he hurries his guys to the line. Now Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
First down now, but the clock continues to move. Rodgers to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Back to throw. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 19.
That's a nice job right there, partner, because they were able to work down the middle of the field, working in the seams, because I think defensively, they were guarding the sidelines, trying to keep them from getting out of bounds. They took what they gave them, and it was successful.
Counting down to 30 seconds remaining. Back to throw, and that's complete to Adams. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this fourth quarter. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. To throw is Rodgers. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
He'll look to throw. He's got a man. It's Williams. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. They come out here in the I. 2nd and goal from the 1. Williams will try again, and he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Jamal Williams with time running out, and they have taken the lead here in the final minute.
How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one, because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. A 10-play drive that time. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. After the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. One last throw here for Stafford. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair. Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Packers are winners here as we say so long from LAMBEAU.